guys, here's a look and a demonstration of our bungee stretcher that we made for installing our landing gear bungees on our 1947 PA-12 Piper Super Cruiser. We decided that we would try to devise a tool that would be a little bit safer, a little bit more controlled. So we created this beam that rests on the front truss assembly or the landing gear truss assembly, and then spans back to the seat support. It's pretty easy to install. It just sits on top of that truss in the seat support, and then the cable hangs down below that scissor jack and hooks the bungees to either remove or install the new bungees. Remove the old ones and then install the new bungees, and it worked pretty well. So we thought we'd do a little video to kind of show people the tool. You can either copy it or DM me if you're interested in renting it. We can figure out a way to ship it to you, but real happy with the way it worked. And here we go. We'll show you how we used it. Hey guys, just a couple of notes here before we get started. We built a bar with a hook on it to change these bungees the way that most people do. But the more we looked at it, the more we were uncomfortable with cantilever and 1,000 pounds worth of bungee pull off about a 2-inch pad that pivots on that top tube on the truss assembly. I was worried about kinking that tube or bending that tube. So I just figured there had to be a better way to distribute that stress or that load on that truss assembly, as well as shift some of it to the back around this, on the seat or other structure of the airplane. So I don't think the back part of it sees much load, but we used a little jack assembly that we made there to distribute the load from that upper tube to the lower tube. And between that and the almost 1 foot wide saddle that we have that rests or lays on top of the forward truss assembly there, or the landing gear truss assembly, I think the stresses on the airplane were a lot less, and we have a lot more of a controlled environment while we're changing these bungees. All right guys, we've got this hook on the end of this cable, and the biggest trick, or the first trick here, is to kind of get enough space between the bungees to get the hook in. It seems to be the hardest part of getting these old ones off. Now most people will just cut these bungees, and that's probably the smart thing to do. It's easiest and less dangerous, but we pulled them off with the bungee stretcher earlier on this side just to see how this setup was going to work, this rig was going to work, and it worked fairly well. So we'll do it again this way. All right, so once the bungees, or the hook's up underneath the bungee, just start adding some tension to it. Once you get it past the lip there, come back in with the screwdriver like this, and then reverse the direction and let it on down. All right, that's it for removing them. We'll go ahead and remove the other two, and then we'll get back with you when we're installing the new ones. All right guys, we're about ready to put the new bungees on, but I wanted to show you how we've got the landing gear strapped together here to keep it from collapsing once we take the bungees loose. If you didn't have them strapped together, then the whole thing would collapse. And we also took this opportunity to change out this hardware. We bought new bushings for the landing gear, didn't need them, just wound up putting new bolts in, and got them all lubed up and ready to go. Our safety here is the engine hoist, on the engine hoist ring, the D-ring here on the engine. So when we took the strap loose to change these bolts, the engine was, or the whole airplane was supported with this engine hoist set up. All right guys, coming back inside here, And just giving you a shot from this side. Bungee's removed, and we're about to get at it here. Ben's going to go down below the airplane on a creeper and feed the bungees up from the bottom side, and hook it on the front hook, and then we'll use the super stretcher here to pull it up on the aft hook. All right, guys, we're having a lot of camera issues here, and unfortunately don't have great mounts, and it's tough to find a good camera location for you. But here we are. We're going to hook this first one, start to bring some tension on it, and then bring Ben around out from underneath the airplane. He's going to grab the camera and hopefully get a little better position for you. So we got the hook. We got the bungee hooked on the front side of the truss, and Ben's got the hook on the back side of the bungee. And now we're going to start to pull a little tension on it. All right, and now we're holding the bungee in the positions that we want it. Push back on the front side hook of the truss, and he held the bottom part of the bungee together. And now we're gonna just lever out the hook away from the truss the best we can. It only takes a little bit to get it kind of started. Figure out what works the best, whether it's this screwdriver. All we got to do is get it past that lip there, and then it'll go on up on its own. But we got to kind of get it past this lip. There we go. Now we're up above it. I actually made a cable puller on the front side of this thing. Haven't used it yet. Let me see how that works. I might have to grab a ratchet. Let me grab well, I can use this. That's all the way forward. That's as much as we can get out of it. Oops, the other way. It'll ease the bungee back down. Create some more slack in the cable. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the normal position. And now we got to just work that hook out from underneath the bungee. It hasn't really proven to be very difficult to do that. Just like that. So that's the bungee installation, round one anyways. And it'd be nice to be able to scooch that on over, but I think once we get the second one in there, everything will settle in nicely. So let's do number two. All right, here we go. Bungee number two. Ben's down there stretching it over the front lug. Cable is down and in position. Squeeze it, Ben. That'll give you a little bit more. Got it. All right. Good. All right, we're hooked on the cable.
Watch this cable right there. Got it.
Start to pull some tension.
A little more.
All right. All right. Look at that.
All right, 4 bungees, and I think if we weren't standing around positioning cameras and yapping and talking things through and had done it, had a little bit of experience doing it like we do now, it really would make short work of changing these bungees. Even if, I mean, especially if you just cut the old ones off and then they just stretch the new ones on there, I think you really could do it in probably 15 or 20 minutes. It wouldn't take long, and it seems to be pretty controlled and safe. I mean, everything, those bungees are under a lot of tension, but this thing seems to work fairly well of managing that, and seems like a fairly safe operation. All right, hope that helps. If somebody's interested in renting a bungee stretcher 1000, give me a DM down below, and then we'll work something out. But hope that helps. You guys have a great day.